I've uploaded over 2,134 videos for myself and my clients over the last 10 years. And here's some very important things that I learned that will help anybody who's starting or scaling their brand online. So this was my first ever YouTube channel. And if you can see here, my most popular video ever is more than 900,000 views. Now, this wasn't luck because I was engineering the successes of some of these videos and have continued to be able to do the same thing for some of our clients after that as well. Like this client of mine who runs an NFT and crypto podcast. And if you see the most popular video of theirs, it was done by us and it has hundreds of thousands of views. And not just that, it's made them, I can't say the exact number, but I know for a fact that even for the crypto space, it made them a lot more money than you can imagine. I have had some of these pieces of content like this one, for example, right? This one video, which has 600 views, has made me at least $2,000 or $3,000. And then this video, which has 1,700 views, has made me at least $10,000. Yeah, like those numbers are not made up. Like it's that's just how it works. Okay, so if you think that views matter for revenue, they don't. So let's forget that. But regardless, when you're stealing ideas as a business YouTuber, right? Like you're making content to attract clients, no matter who you are, right? Like even this crypto brand, right? That I showed you, their one video that we did that got a lot of views. This is obviously not a unique video, right? It's something that it's just the reason and the way it worked. Okay, so let me show you crypto lawyer. Yeah, when you search that up, you don't really find anything. And that's goes back to doing research, right? So when you do research, or when I do research, rather, let me show you. Okay, there we go. So when I do research for a client, we do it this in depth. Okay, we start off with understanding the client in this much depth, right? Like what is their offer, what do they sell, who do they sell to, who are their competitors, what are the problems they solve, what are the lead magnets they have, etc., etc. What are the keywords that work in their niche, blah blah, like so many things. Okay, so that's the first step. Then the second step is then doing even more in-depth research on the clients that they've had, right? Like what are the clients' names, who are they exactly, how do they describe themselves, what content do they watch, what are their desires, what are their dreams, fears, objections before buying, false beliefs, situation before buying, situation after 6 months. Like this is how in depth we go. Now the reason is because if you don't go this in depth, you will never extract the right insights. So one of the key things that when we were coming up with a video idea for this client of ours, this NFT podcast, they don't really do videos, they do a podcast, right? So they wanted to do a podcast episode with somebody who is a crypto lawyer, and this sparked an immediate idea within me because I was like, wait a minute, I think there's some gold here that we can pick out. Instead of doing a podcast, why not do a video? And I was like, let me do some research. So I just looked up whether there are any crypto lawyer videos that are popular, because if you think about it, okay, crypto law is not something people look for, but here's the thing, crypto taxes is something people look for because that's a big problem, right? And what I found after looking was, wait a minute, there are no videos for years about this topic. Like the only popular videos are 3 years ago and 4 years ago. And that's basically it, which means there's so much space. So much space. Now, people have started making videos after the fact that we made this video for our clients. So people are definitely seeing that it works. But the thing is that this level of insight I only had because I was like, I know what are the fears and frustrations of the crypto market because I have done research this in depth about ideal clients, what is the brand, like what is the psychographics of the ideal viewer, the person who watches their content or the person who would buy from them, what are their psychographics and demographics. And when you understand things that in depth, when you understand the avatar or the person you're talking to with your content that in depth, makes it so much easier. And when I say so much easier, I mean so much easier to come up with content for them. Because how can you make content for somebody you don't understand? Because here's another thing, and this is a big lesson for me to learn, is that there's no point in studying the YouTube algorithm. Although I have made a very in-depth, like 75 tactics, kind of like 75 YouTube algorithm secrets kind of a document, which is pretty in-depth, right? I've written a document which is super in-depth about how the algorithm works and like all of its secrets and all of that stuff and how to game it essentially. Well, regardless, the big takeaway that you have to understand And let me see if I have it written here in yeah, okay. So one of my biggest takeaways or learnings was that even though YouTube doesn't say this in public, I have studied enough to know, and I've paid people enough money to know this. YouTube doesn't push your content to people, right? YouTube pulls content towards people, okay? So the algorithm doesn't say, okay, here's a video, let's push it. No. The algorithm stores your video into a big warehouse for each potential viewer. So like, let's say I log into YouTube, my best friend logs into YouTube, my mom logs into YouTube, everybody gets served different videos because everybody's algorithm is built for them. So everybody's algorithm has like a warehouse of content that it keeps based on their previous viewer behavior, based on the things they search for, based on the content they watch. Therefore, it is important, and when I say important, I really mean it is important to know what are their search behaviors. What are the things they hate, the things they dislike, things that when they see, right, when they see these things, they will end up wanting to watch the video, click the video. Like the video title and thumbnail and everything has to be so good that it grabs them by the throat, like grabs them by the throat, pulls them in. That's the goal, right? And you cannot do that by chasing some arbitrary algorithm secret or hack. You cannot do it. You can only do it by understanding as in depth as possible who the viewer is, what do they need, what do they care about, what do they hate, what are they frustrated by, what makes them excited, what makes them fear, because FOMO is a very powerful emotion to target. What makes them click, what gives them dopamine, what motivates them. Like you need to understand them as in depth as possible so that you make content that, well, when they see it, it grabs them by the throat and pulls them in, right? So imagine if you're somebody who has like a couple $1 million in crypto. Now, one of the biggest problems that you will have is taxes, because yes, some countries don't really ask you to pay taxes on crypto, but other countries do. And more importantly, countries are always trying to make money from their citizens. And so the whole industry of crypto functions only because they run away from the government, right? You have to understand this very, very psychological thing that people and crypto in general, especially Bitcoin, but crypto in general, but especially Bitcoin, it only exists because people don't like fiat money because it's institutionalized and it's controlled by the governments, essentially. So having Bitcoin and crypto is their escape, right? Now, the thing is that if the countries start saying, if the government starts saying, okay, we're going to learn about your portfolio and even if it's in crypto and we're going to tax you for it, the average person who invests in crypto is going to be fucking frustrated, okay? So we got to play on their frustration, right? What if we tell them, what if there's a legal way to not pay taxes? Legal way, right? So if I go to YouTube Studio, okay, so if I go to YouTube Studio, go to this video, analytics, whatever, right? The reason it worked, because the thumbnail tells you the only things that matter to you as somebody who has invested money in crypto, which is don't lose more money, right? Avoid taxes. Now, title does something even more powerful, right? It says how to legally avoid crypto taxes. Orgasmic feeling for somebody who is having millions of dollars in crypto is, what if I put all of my money there and I have to pay no taxes? Does that mean that I have a tax advantage? In a sense, you do, right? So this little trick of just saying crypto tax lawyer explains, it's an authority, a person who's an authority. So you're like, okay, this is definitely believable, right? That's the first thing. This is believable. Then secondly, it targets you where it hits the most so that you can be pulled in. How to legally avoid crypto taxes. Mind blowing, right? It makes you click before you even realize. If you're the target audience, that's the thing. If you're the target audience, you'll click before you even realize. And that's the thing that we want to do, right? So the thumbnail is not doing anything that new. It's just only focusing on the things that matter. So there's a strategic reason why Bitcoin logo is one of the biggest ones in the thumbnail, because it's one of the more popular ones. Solana is big because it's popular, So we are using symbols that people recognize, right? That the target audience recognizes. And then, okay, let's strategically talk about this, right? So what did we do here? Firstly, we showed visual elements that they care about. Okay, so what is somebody who invests in crypto care about? Crypto, obviously. So, we show Bitcoin, blah, 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 right? then their emphasis will go where next? It will go to avoid taxes. That's all the context they need, right? So what does this thumbnail very simply do? Even though it has not many things going on, it tells you who this video is for and tells you what they will get from watching. Very important, right? Most people end up just telling, imagine if I just removed all the crypto from down there and just said avoid taxes. Do you think somebody who invests in crypto will care? No, they will not, because their brain won't even care about information that doesn't seem relevant to them, which is why the information has to seem relevant to them first. That's the primary, most important thing. And then we are giving their brain reasons to start feeling something, right? Because if we just said avoid crypto taxes, it's not triggering you emotionally. But saying that this is from an authority, firstly, right? So it's like, imagine if it's like, exercise scientist says stop exercising. Fuck, you will watch that, because it's somebody who's an authority on a subject giving you advice that is emotionally charged. Because stop exercising feels like, yes, I want to stop exercising for the most part, for most people, right? Some people, they're obsessed, but most people don't really like doing it. Most people don't really like dieting, even though they end up doing it. So if somebody who's an authority on a subject says that they have the solution to your problem, or maybe even a solution to a problem you didn't really think much about, you just were like, okay, I guess I accept that I have to pay taxes, right? But what if this guy's like, wait, no, you don't need to pay taxes. Legally avoid crypto taxes. That does a banger thing. Now, I will say this, that the title and thumbnail are not the only reason, because we also ended up improving the video quite a bit, right? We added an intro and all of that stuff, like to really tease it. I'm not going to show it, but we just really teased the intro quite a bit, so that emotionally charges people up more to the point where now when they start watching, they're like, fuck, I cannot stop watching this because I will lose information. Imagine if you just had to spend 17 minutes to watch a video and you could save potentially millions of dollars. Will you do it? Absolutely. And that's the key thing, is that the pain of not watching is higher than the pain of watching, right? That's one of the most intricate balances that everybody needs to find when they are creating content or doing anything or asking people to do anything, right? Asking people to watch a video is people don't owe you anything. They don't need to watch your video. You have to make it so that they feel so compelled to watch your video, right? And the best way to compel them is to tell them that when they watch the video, they will gain something that is far more important than the time that they will lose. Yeah, I will repeat this. It is important that you promise them something in the thumbnail and the title that tells them that they will gain something far more important than the amount of time they will lose. And this becomes especially more important when you talk to adults, because adults have lesser time, so their time is more valuable. So that if you say, I'll make you $10 if you watch this for the next 10 minutes, most adults will not care. But a child will care, because to them $10 is a lot and they have more time than they have money. Yeah. So these kind of nuances of understanding who is the target audience, what do they care about, how much time do they have, like what are they, what matters so much to them that they would spend time or waste time, whatever way you want to call it, because people can think that they watch something productive but still think that they wasted time, which is how procrastination works for the most part. But yeah, essentially, right, you want to do things, you want to say things in a way that people realize how important it is to watch this. So this is a very important test that I have started doing from now onwards with like potential videos that I make for myself and for my clients. And it is that, let's say your audience, right, the person watching your video is in an urgent need to go do something, whether it is go take a shit, right, it doesn't matter, or that their accountant called and told them, bro, be here in an hour, we gotta fix shit. Now imagine if that person with urgency, with like tons of things in their head, they're stressed, they're like anxious, they're there's so much that they need to do, and that person, if you can convince that person to sit and watch your video for 5 minutes, you've done a banger job, right? So imagine, this is the test, that if somebody who has an urgent life with tons of things happening to them all the time, with fighting with their wife or whatever, right, like getting scolded at by their boss or whatever, right, whoever the audience is, regardless of what happens in their life, if you can make content that they feel is so important that nothing else matters and they have to watch it right now, otherwise they will lose something very critical because you use FOMO, right? If they feel like this video is more important than anything else that can happen potentially in their life, then you know for a fact this video will work. No matter what happens, a video like that will work because thousands of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially even millions of people will click on a video like that. So that's just like maybe 2 or 3 things out of a million things that I can that I can talk about. But I hope this is helpful to somebody, anybody.